Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a mastery empowerment course, and this is the eternal beauty that you are. And my guests today are co-founders of Infinite Gold. It's a beautiful high frequency skincare. And this process that we're going to learn today is actually going to recode your cells. So I'd like to turn it over to Jules Arnes. Hello, Jules. Welcome.
Hello, Lauren. I'm so happy to be here. This is an exciting platform that you have created. It's just bringing me so much joy already.
Thank you. It is all about New Earth, and that's what we're here to create. And New Earth is our focus. We are in a great shift, and it is game on for New Earth. So we encourage folks to keep their eye on the prize and stay focused in New Earth. So, Jules, can you introduce your partner here and share what we're going to do, because this is really fun. This is taking our beauty and our health into our own hands. And you work with frequencies and scalar energy. So share more on this.
Beautiful. I have Erica here, Erica Barth, and we co-create together so beautifully. Our synergy it's like we reflect each other in the perfect way. And talk about frequency, and I think that's really where we're moving into as we start to identify our process in the new earth is what reflection we are holding. And together, Erica and I can go really, really deep into what that process means and then be able to share that with others. And that's really what this is all about. It's changing the intelligence on a cellular level so that we can reflect not only the new earth, but also create youth and vitality while we do that. Let's see, it looks like Lauren maybe is off now. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. And it's exciting that we get to co-host this together, because a lot of times when we talk about eternal beauty and skincare, like how does that affect us? Where does that affect me? And when we say that we're each other's reflection and the frequency that we can hold together, the strength that it gives. And I want everyone that's listening to us right now, how much power you have with regards to your own youthening process, and how you can connect to your skin and how you can rejuvenate and regenerate your skin. And so what we're going to do today is just the start of something so amazing that will turn back the years of aging on your face, and then in other ways heal you on such higher, greater levels.
Beautiful. That's really beautifully said. And we are on this new earth platform right now, and I think it's really important to, like Lauren said, continue to choose that higher frequency. And when we're doing that, we are truly creating a new reality and what Erica and I call the new human. And this is just a pathway of how to create the new human. If we're able to upgrade the intelligence of our skin cells, we're upgrading the intelligence of our entire body, and we're upgrading it to hold the frequency of eternal youth. But what does that really mean? So let's talk about that a little bit, Erica.
So I always love starting off with, as you have said many times, and for those that are new to this, that are listening to this for the first time, our skin holds its own state of consciousness. So everything, every thought, every intention that we have when we look at ourselves in the mirror is going to reflect that. And more often than not, if I were to ask you all to take a quick selfie with your cell phone and look at it, most of you are going to point out a flaw. You're going to look at an area on your face that you don't particularly embrace and love. And it's going to trigger an emotion. It's going to trigger a thought. It's going to trigger a story or a memory. And that is the very thing that we heal so that it doesn't age you. Because anytime you're putting in a lower vibration or a lower frequency on your face, your skin is going to take on that consciousness. And so as you guys are going to experience today and witness today and hear today with the DQ face reading, we actually go into the heart of that, heal the root cause of that thought, that trigger, that emotion, and as a result, give you a tool to empower you to embrace your skin, connect with your skin, and as a result, look younger.
I love it. And that's really where we are right now. The consciousness that we're able to hold is the reality that we are going to reflect. So, why wouldn't we start with the consciousness of our skin cells? Because when we're looking in the mirror and we like what we see, we are raising our vibration. And what's really beautiful about this, and I know that we laugh about this all the time, but that self love just deepens. And really, self love is a place of complete acceptance. Or I don't even want to say acceptance, because acceptance makes it sound like there was something wrong to begin with. It's more about merging into the divine perfection that we're here to be, and then being able to reflect that into our reality.
Yes. I mean, exactly. Like we get to change the way we look at our skincare routine. We get to change the way we look at ourselves in the mirror and what we reflect. And we get to connect to that, and we get to choose. And as an amazing result, we get to look better and younger in the process. So who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to have those tools and that connection? And that's why I think this platform is so important and so amazing for everyone listening and attending, because it's simple. Like we complicate things in our mind, and it's a lot simpler when we just do it. And I'm excited to be here to help show it.
I love that. So when you were saying that, another thing came to me about the process of having a skincare routine in the morning and night. And, of course, we're a skincare line that's Arnes based, and Arnes has been shown to not only repair the DNA and reverse aging, but to evolve consciousness. And so if we can be really conscious when we're doing our skincare twice a day, we're connecting to a higher frequency twice a day, bringing that higher frequency into the intelligence of our cells. And, frequency, when we're bringing it into our cells, either through the skincare or just by doing some of the processes that we're going to do today, we will hold on to that frequency for about 12 hours. That's about how long the body can hold a higher frequency for until it starts to lower frequency. So if we do it twice a day, we're reintroducing that frequency again, so that the body is constantly being told, this is the frequency we want to exist in. Well, what happens with that is that we raise in consciousness. And as we raise in consciousness is really when the magic starts to happen. And I know for myself, it has been a beautiful, beautiful ride. And every single time I think it can't get better, it gets better.
That's the beauty of this process, is that it's blissful, it's euphoric, it's not painful, it doesn't have to be painful. I think a lot of times people get stuck in that idea that in order to ascend, we need to feel pain or suffer. And we're taking that out of this equation. We're done with that. That's old, archaic thoughts that no longer serve us. So let's bring it to that higher vibration. Let's bring it to that next level, and let's just do it, and do it with ease, and do it with joy, and do it with magic, because we can. So why wouldn't we?
Absolutely. And as we are witnessing the creation of the new earth, through not only the process of upgrading our cellular structure, our cellular intelligence, but we're doing it through expanded states of consciousness. And both of them work together so beautifully, because when we start to identify those limiting beliefs is really when we start to have choice on what it is that we want to believe. But first we have to identify the beliefs that maybe aren't for our best and highest good. And that's what this process is all about, is identifying, becoming aware of those beliefs, deciding if that's going to serve us. And if it doesn't, then we change the belief system. And it's really that easy. Erica and I have been talking for quite a while now that on April 20th, 2020, all karmic patterns are gone. They've been deleted. They no longer exist. And so we have a clear slate. And it doesn't mean that maybe we won't feel the resonance of karmic patterns, because our bodies get wired to hold those resonance. But it's easier than ever to just choose something different and start to rewire our bodies to an expanded state, or what was another word? We are limitless.
Mm-hmm.
What do we want to become? And then choosing to become that.
Yeah. Like, I feel that so deep. Every time we talk about it, it goes so deep.
We have the blank slate, and it's not only the blank slate of our personal identity and the creation of what we want to become, but also reflecting that into the new earth. What do we want our reality to be? And it doesn't seem like skincare and creating the new earth and becoming eternal would go together, but you know, our skin is the one organ that reflects into our reality. It's the border of illusion. And if we can work with the intelligence of that border of illusion, we can change our reality on such an expanded level. It's so exciting.
Like, I'm excited, like I get bubbly, like I feel like I'm just bubbling out, because it's giving us the power to choose. Like, each one of us, we all have the power to break our illusions. We all have our own inner wisdom, our own truth, our own knowledge to see past the illusion that was created for us. Maybe not necessarily something that we created, but something that we adapted as ours, because that's what was passed down. And so this process helps uncover that. And it's a quick process. It's not this long drawn out thing. It's like, boom, see it. Don't worry about the story. Don't attach to it. Move past it. And it's so awesome when somebody has that aha moment, when they embrace that power, when they take it and they take it beyond what our words can even comprehend, when they make it limitless and expansive, because it takes you to that point beyond limit and expansion.
That is so perfectly said. And as you were talking, what I was thinking is really what it's doing is it's taking us from being the victim to empowerment. And that's what this course is all about. This is why we're here with Lauren today, is about taking back our power. So we can take back our power with our health. We can take back our power with whether or not we age. We can take back our power on what we want our reality to reflect. So if we're holding a frequency in our cells, an intelligence within our cells, not only is that intelligence going to be resonating in our body, but if we can commit to that frequency over and over and over again until our cell can hold that frequency without us telling it to, which is why we give homework after a session, there will be a time where that cell will hold that intelligence without us having to tell it. And that's when we say that we're unconsciously conscious. Is that cell becomes that intelligence without us consciously having to say that. So what does that mean? Well, that means if we're holding the frequency of, let's say, eternal youth, and we continue to work with that cell to hold that intelligence, and we commit to it, there will be a day that that cell will hold that intelligence without us having to tell it to. And that's when we see the magic unfold.
I want you to talk for everyone listening. There is no biological reason why we age. And I think that's what you talk about it so often, and you do it so well, that I want you to tell everybody, just so that they can soak that in. Like, there is no biological reason why we age. So what does that mean to you? Explain it for people to truly understand what that really means.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that's actually being scientifically proven now, that there is no biological reason we age. And what it is an epigenetic code that gets turned on because of our environment. Well, what they're also proving, and a lot of this is with Bruce Lipton's work, is the biology of belief. Well, our environment is our belief systems, and our environment is what turns on the code for aging. So all of the stuff that we're talking about changing the intelligence of the cells, like really what we're doing is we're awakening the consciousness of our cells so that they are not holding social consciousness, because for centuries we have been told we age and we die, but nobody's ever stopped to be like, but wait, we're conscious beings that are creator of our reality. Isn't that something that I can also change? Well, we're finally at a frequency where not only is it scientifically being proven, but we're at a frequency where we can expand our consciousness to a level where we can actually start to make those changes.
I love that. So soak that in. And so like soak that in. And so then with that, expand a little bit on scalar frequency for those that are new to.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. So scalar frequency is another name. You could say even life force energy. So the difference between a scalar wave and a hertz is that scalar can't diffuse over time and space. But the wonderful about scalar energy is that you can program it to actually hold a specific frequency or an intelligence. And once it's holding that frequency or intelligence, it will hold that frequency of intelligence unless another frequency comes in and basically tells it not to. So it's a great frequency to put in skincare or to use with healing, just for that reason. And actually, the more you use the skincare because of the scalar frequency and you bringing it into your energy system, it will start to resonate that frequency with your body. That's why it's so important to, when we're using the skincare, be really conscious about what are we telling this skincare product that we want it to do, because the Ormus and the scalar energy are working together to create an intelligence for you. But if you can take that intelligence and connect it to your conscious mind, connect it to the consciousness of your cells, you are only going to amp your skincare routine 100-fold, because that is what this is all about. It's about not just slapping something on our face and hoping it works. It's actually taking that intelligence and using our own intelligence and connecting it to the intelligence of our cells.
And for those that are just starting off on this journey, if this is a newer journey for you, it meets you where you're at. So I don't want people thinking, well, I'm not quite there yet. Like it resonates with me. I like what I'm hearing, but I'm just not there yet. That's awesome. It's going to meet you where you're at and elevate you at where you need to elevate next. It's not like we're here and we want to get up here. Well, you don't just shoot straight up. It's like a pebble, and you take a pebble and you follow it up. So I don't want anyone to feel like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm behind in the game. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly where you're at. There's no wrong way to do this. And I really want everyone to know that, because we work with people from every level and that's what's so awesome about our skincare line, is that it meets you where you're at the frequency that you're holding, and it takes you that next step that you need to elevate.
That's so beautiful. Yes, there are different entry points. But the great thing is once you do enter, there's no limitation on how quickly you move through. I don't want to say move through, like, I don't know what it is they're moving through, but there's no limitation on how quickly you can go from just applying skincare to actually reprogramming your cells on your own. It's a beautiful process. There's no limitation. But what it is it's awakening. It's awakening the cells. It's awakening personal consciousness. And once we start to awaken, it doesn't end. There's always the next step. There's always a next step. And that's what's so beautiful. And that's why we really teach the consciousness of skincare, because if we're constantly evolving our personal consciousness, we will also be evolving the consciousness of our skin cells.
That's exactly right. That's like so well said. Like in the morning, like I want everyone to think of their morning routine. are you actually looking at yourself in the mirror? Are you looking at your skin? Are you connecting with your soul? Are you looking at your eyes? Are you recognizing you? Are you seeing you? And I think that's the very first step, is noticing and seeing you, looking at you. More often than not, we're looking at things that, again, we don't fully love or we don't fully embrace. And we just kind of want to start with just that simple process of look at you and see you. And that is so powerful in itself. And most of you have heard this before, but how many of you actually do it?
That's so true. And even just what you said, Erica, about just having the awareness of what we're saying to ourselves in that few minutes that we're doing our skincare routine is part of the awakening process. It's being mindful of, what am I telling myself? And then if we can practice that just twice a day when we're doing a skincare routine, we can begin to practice that in our daily life. Like, that's why we say, you know, the skin is our reflection into our reality. And if we can become aware of what kind of things our skin is being told, then what are we saying to ourselves throughout the day? And then where is that being reflected into our reality? It's really a place of becoming mindfulness, being mindful. And let's see, I just got a, can we do DQ sessions? Yes, we are going to do some DQ sessions here in just a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about what DQ is. So DQ stands for Dermal Expression Cellular Upgrade. And it is a face reading where we go in, trace the frequency of within the cell. We read the belief systems, and if it is connected to an organ and an emotion, we clear the belief system and then download a higher frequency intelligence or I am statement that you repeat over a period of time. We recommend anywhere from 21 to 45 days. That doesn't mean that I am statement can't change and shift, but we want you to continue to work with the intelligence of that cell until, like we said before, that cell can hold that intelligence on its own. And that's really when we start to see the results. So I'm going to send you this question, Erica, because this is such a beautiful question that we have been contemplating, and we don't have to go really deep into it. But how soon will someone see results?
I love you. Everyone listening, we get this question all the time. How soon does somebody get to receive the results? And you would think that's a very easy question, but Jules and I went down that rabbit hole, and it was a very, very fun rabbit hole. A quick snippet before we further explore that, because I think we should do a universal clearing on that for sure today in this class. You're going to see that result for as long as you can continue to hold that frequency. So what does that mean? There are two types of, I don't want to say people because I don't want to generalize, but there's two thought processes on this. There's two belief systems behind it. The first belief system is, I'll believe it when I see it. Mm-hmm. And the second belief system is, when I believe it, I'll believe it when I see it. And then the second one is, I'm believing it, so I see it. Mm-hmm. Wayne Dyer wrote a book about that, actually. But so let me repeat that one more time. Like, when I see it, I'll believe it. And the second one is, when I believe it is when I see it. So it's two sides of a coin. Which side of the coin do you live on? For those that truly embrace the clearing, that embrace the power, that they know that they can heal their skin, that they know that they can heal their body, that they know that they're capable of beyond what the mind limits them to, you will see the results instantly. For those that still need a little bit of like, okay, I'm there, I believe in it, I really think I can, but they're not quite there, you're going to start to see results. Like, you're going to see some fading. You're going to see that it's starting to activate and work. And that's going to give you that momentum. Like, okay, I'm seeing something. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Because we've seen people have results within an hour. And then we've seen also some treatments take, 7 days, 10 days, a week, a month. It just depends on how long that belief system, how in depth it is, and how easy it is to clear and release from the master cell.
And really what you just said also, Erica, is how willing someone is to move into a different identity. Because when we have a belief system, especially if it's one that we've had most of our life, our mind and our body is programmed to hold that belief system because it's really an identity that we hold. And when if you can think about, let's just use the belief system that I will age. So if we're holding that belief system, and we're holding that belief system for all of society, of the human race. So we're not just clearing it for ourselves, but we're clearing it on a universal level. Well, that's a pretty strong embedded belief system. That is definitely an identity that most people hold. But and then when we're trying to move into an identity of I am eternal, or I am eternally youthful, that's a big frequency shift. It's a really, and so how do we do that? Well, we have to actually reprogram the mind and our physical bodies to move into the frequency of that new identity. And so by giving our ego mind a new identity to move into is going to make it move a lot quicker than just saying, I don't want to be this identity anymore. Because the ego mind can't say, okay, so the ego mind can say, yes, I believe that I will age. It may not believe the identity of I'm eternally youthful, but giving the ego mind an identity to become will allow the ego mind to let go of the old identity. It's when we're saying, I'm not going to be this, but we're not giving the ego something to become, where we really start to struggle with making big shifts, because the ego will always go back to what it knows. So we have to give it something to become, no matter how big that may be. As long as we continue to focus on what identity we're becoming, the ego will accept it on some level until we really shift in frequency to where we can really go. I mean, we're talking, that's giving me chills saying that out loud. That's really when we start to get to this place of like, well, what's next? What's next? What's next? Until we get to a place where it's completely open and expanded, and we don't actually even have to have an identity to move into next. We just are. Crazy to think that.
That's a whole other class.
That's a whole nother class.
That's
what we're looking at is that we can become, this is a process of learning how to become limitless.
Yeah. I love it.
It's really beautiful. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else that I'm sure there'll be stuff that comes up as we're working with people, but is there anything else that we should talk about before we start doing some face readings here?
Oh, so Shar, I'm reading your comment right now, and this is right. Like, I believe we can do this rather than looking to outside sources, just like I believe we have telepathy we can do rather than text. So I like how you're going instead of out, like, this is one of those tools. So thank you for your comment, because I read that, and you're right. We are shifting, as everyone is fully aware that we are shifting. Instead of seeking answers outside, we're going internally. Instead of looking for other things outside of us to heal, to reflect us, right? Like, we're using external things to reflect. Now we're changing that mindset and that consciousness where we're using our internal to reflect. And that's a big shift. And everyone collectively is shifting into that more inward reflection, internal looking at to what's the truth, what's my truth, how do I identify with everything going on? We're removing ourselves from outside sources. And because we're in a situation right now, globally, we were kind of bumped into that to even look at ourselves on a greater level in our own world and in our own homes and in our own situation. If you take away outside identities, what do you have left? And so now this switch, this collective consciousness of shifting has moved internally versus externally. And that's very powerful and necessary to elevate.
Absolutely. It's all of, and that we've talked about this in the past, and it's a little bit off the subject, but that really is the message that I know that I continually get from my divine, is that when we say expansion, let's just clarify this, we're talking about expanding beyond the consciousness of what we're comfortable existing in. So we're talking about conscious expansion. But when it comes to expanding, how else can we describe that? Like, because I think it's normal for our our ego mind to think we have to keep move more, we need more, and like that frequency is like taking that frequency from like outside of us and expanding it out. But actually the opposite is true. We're supposed to be expanding back in to condensed, like you could say, the one particle form. And it's by doing that that we're able to expand our consciousness out, even though our existence is going in. Does that make sense? I hope it did. Perfect. Well, should we do some face readings?
I think everyone's excited for face readings.
Beautiful. Yeah, it seems like we're getting a lot of that. So Lauren, do you need to send people to us for that? I don't know if we have.
Right now I'm bringing in Sophia.
Sophia, yay. Beautiful. Thank you, Lauren. Hi, Sophia. There she is.
Hi. Oh, no, you wanted to see me. Do you need to see me?
We don't have to if you don't want to. We just need, like, you're fine either way. So Sophia, welcome. I'm so happy that that worked out that you could join us today.
It did. In fact, there was technical difficulties with my meeting prior, so I was like, okay, I was meant to be here.
This is where you're supposed to be today. Lovely. Well, I know we have chatted a little bit, Sophia, but do you want to just briefly like let us know what you want to work on?
So I did some healing, and it was a program, and the areas that I wanted to work on ended up being exacerbated. So I wanted to work on the wrinkles around my eyes and the bags, because I feel like that's the area that ages me the most. And then so within that same week that I started that program, my eyes started getting red, and then I just was like eczema type of skin around my eyes. And so now and then they were red. I've tried several products, and the only thing that was working was the steroids, like the eczema steroid cream, and that worked. But I can't keep taking that because that's not good for my skin. So at the moment now I've got like alligator skin. So in fact, I'm trying to get rid of wrinkles, and then after this program, it's so dry that all it looks like are wrinkles. So if you only saw my eyes, you would swear that I was like 80 or 90.
Okay. So let me just test like one thing really quick. Okay. All right. I just wanted to be sure that there wasn't something physical going on that was coming up for me first, but I want to go ahead and move past that. All right, honey. So let's just go ahead and connect our hearts. Okay, so now we're going to move into the master cell. All right. Okay, so I've already hit how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go into the first belief system, and then I'm either going to ask you some questions or I'm going to go ahead and continue to read the pattern. So we'll see kind of how it goes. But the first belief system that I'm hitting is, hold on just one second. Let me make sure I'm reading it really clearly here. Okay, so it's kind of that, I don't want to say it's the self-sabotage pattern to that, because when I'm going in, I ask the frequency, like what its purpose is. And the purpose of it is saying that I am a master healer. Well, then when I read it a little bit more, it's when I start to read the pattern, it's I'm a master healer. But then when you actually move up in frequency to that, there's another frequency that's pulling you back down that's saying, no, I'm not. But there's a reason why it's saying, no, I'm not, because if it's no, I'm not, and I can be distracted with evidence that I'm not, then I'll never become. Does that make sense to you, Sophia?
It does, yes.
Okay, so that's the first pattern that we're going into. So what I'm going to do, just because I have this feeling that we could go really deep with this, but I'd like for you to actually process this through it. So the question I'm going to ask is, if you are a master healer, what does that mean?
Then I have to show up in the world, and then I have to be responsible for many things and many people. And I feel like I've done enough of that in my life.
Okay, so
I'm tired.
you're doing great. So thank you for being so vulnerable and going with that. So it's so crazy that this is coming up, because this is a frequency pattern that I've been reading really deeply. So if you're responsible, let's just say for yourself right now, because that's what we're talking about, is on a self-healing level. If you need to have, there's evidence that I am the healer, of course, we're going to see that evidence within our own reality or our own body first, the reflection of what we're showing. So your skin is showing you the reflection of a belief system. So I want to go deeper into that belief system. So if you are responsible for your own healing, what does that mean?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so if you're responsible for your own healing and it doesn't work, what does that mean?
I guess I just haven't put in enough effort.
Okay.
Because I think I'm okay with, or I mean, it could, so the elements that I'm thinking here are, so the healing, yes. So I'm okay with the healing for myself, as long as it doesn't mean that I'm shining too bright.
Okay, so let's go with that one. If you're shining too bright, what does that mean? What will happen if you shine too bright?
I'm trying to make it short. It's just a history of growing up with my mom and always trying to put me down and making sure that I didn't shine. Anytime I did, she always, tried to diminish it. So there's that pattern. So I think I'd have to shine and I have to show up in this world. And sometimes I don't want to be noticed.
Okay. So you're getting close to the belief system. I really want you to identify it. I could just tell you what it is, but I feel like it'll be more powerful for you to identify it for yourself. So let's go into that. So if you shine your light, so you're identifying that, yes, I don't shine my light because of something that happened in my past with my family. In that environment, I was quote unquote not allowed to shine my light. So if you shine your light now, what feeling or thought comes in for you?
I guess if I were to simplify it, I would say that it would be love, that love would be withheld from me.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start to clear this, and then we're going to go into it a little bit deeper. So we're going to go into the master cell, and I'm going to be concentrating on not just the area around your eyes, because I know that's where you're really seeing it most intensely right now, but I'm going to expand that out. So I'm actually going to go into the master cell, and I'm going to just allow it to expand out to all the cells of your skin, which is true anyways, but I'm going to go ahead and actually expand it now so that it's encompassing all of the frequency of the cells of your skin. So I'm in, and we're going to clear, cancel, and delete the belief system that if I shine my light, love will be withheld. We're bringing in the 7 elements of the rainbow light to clear, cancel, and delete the belief system of if I shine my light, love will be withheld. So we're witnessing this clear, just feeling it in your skin. The witnessing is the most important part. Okay. All right. So I want to go in and clear, cancel, and delete the program of I am responsible for other people's healing. So we're just watching the 7 elements of the rainbow light clear, cancel, and delete the belief system that I am responsible for other people's healing. Okay, so now I want to just look at the reflection of both of those belief systems, and because they're telling us something like that. It's coming up on the border, the illusion, like your skin is the illusion into being reflected into the world. So let's identify the illusion. So if I am responsible for other people's healing, and that is what's being reflected, okay, so I'm going to clear, cancel, and delete the belief system that if I am responsible for healing myself, let me just move into it just a little bit more. Okay, so it's going back to that same pattern about shining your light. So if I heal myself,
Okay.
then I will shine my light. I will be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I will hold the reflection that I am the master of my life. And if I hold the reflection that I am the master of my reality, and I don't like what I see, will I be able to handle it? Okay, and so then we're going into the reflection of if what I see I can't handle, what does that mean? So we're going into a little girl pattern here is what is happening. It's the little girl that wanted to shine, that if she did shine, she wasn't loved. So that's the reflection of where we're moving into. So I want you to be able to really hold, like, to meet the frequency of what I'm saying. Sophia, are you able to hold the frequency of what I'm saying, like to a place where you can consciously understand it?
I am, and I can feel it resonate. And I know that love and hate are pretty much the same emotion. But yeah, so I feel like I was being even a little bit light in saying that love was withheld. It was actually like a form of hate and resentment.
Yes. So like when you're reflecting that I can't shine my light, because that's actually the pattern. I was hoping that you would get to it, but when you said love, I was like, well, we won't go there. But it was, if I shine my light, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
It's actually the belief system, like something bad will happen if I show my lights. And so now you're withholding your light, and it's causing congestion in your cells because your cells are wanting to express that because it's your truth. But when we're dimming it down, it's almost creating like a protective layer where the energy is unable to flow through. So let's bring in a new intelligence for the cell. We're clearing the belief system that if I shine my light, I'll be in trouble or something bad will happen. And you can only imagine what that frequency, if we're going to bring it into like a full body level, is creating the chemical response in your body of fight or flight. Because if you're trying to become a new identity that is shining your light, and your belief system is, if I shine my light, something bad will happen, you can see how that would create a fight or flight response in the body. Because every time you're trying to become this identity, your body is responding to it as, but if I do, I mean, not to be weird about it, but it's almost to the frequency of, I will die.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to go in and clear that. So bringing the rainbow light into the cell, clearing the belief system of, if I shine my light, if I become the master of my reality, of my skin, and what I reflect into the world, I will die. We're watching that clear, cancel, and delete. And now we're going to download the belief system of, I shine my light so that I can be the master of the intelligence of my skin, and reflect that intelligence as I create heaven on earth. So we're just watching this download right into the master cell, and this is just spreading out into all the other cells of your skin. Okay, so I'm going to go into one more frequency pattern here. So we're going to download the frequency, the intelligence into the cells of your skin to hold the frequency of your, what I would call your home frequency, or you can say like the frequency that you're here to be. We're just going to download this frequency into the cells and allow your body to accept this frequency with joy, peace, and love. So there's a little bit of separation where the frequency isn't able to fully move into your body, because if it did, you would automatically shine your light. So there's this resistance pattern that's almost causing like an immune response, because your own body is responding to the frequency, your home frequency, if that makes sense. So it's not allowing it to fully integrate on a cellular level. So we're just going to ask that the cell accept with love, peace, and joy. And I want you to just connect to what that frequency feels like, and allowing the body to fully integrate in your home frequency. Just allowing your body to know that this is the frequency you're here to be, and you're absorbing even more life force energy. Beautiful. Would you like to come up with an I am statement for her, Erica?
Yeah, I keep getting, I reflect divine feminine perfection. Like when you were doing the visualization and my eyes were closed. Like, Sophia, you reflect divine perfection.
Beautiful. So that's the frequency pattern that I want you to continue to work on, Sophia, is that that acceptance of, first of all, allowing your home frequency to come in on a cellular level and be integrated with your physical body. Okay. But also the just noticing when your body is resisting your light in order to survive, because it's just a belief system. So it's like, does that belief system still work for me? Do I want to believe this? And what do I want to believe? Well, that's like a process that I think I'm going to offer you to kind of go in deeper, as you know, like now and here going forward, because like I said, there's something there where you're going to be able to process this at even a deeper level, and you're going to have like one of the biggest aha moments of your life. That's why I've been kind of pushing you to follow it a little bit more, because I know you're capable of it, and it's going to mean so much more to you when it happens.
That's fantastic.
Thank
Same
you
with
so
that I am statement, Sophia. Like that I am statement is it's a high frequency I am statement that I know 100% you can connect to, but there's a little resistance in it. And so as you go into those patterns, like when you get there, that's truly what you embrace. But you know, you just got to dive a little deeper. So that's why we want you to connect to that higher frequency, because it's so powerful and you're so powerful.
Yeah, being an empath is interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because you're feeling others. And you're feeling others' doubts, and you're feeling others' fears, and you're feeling others. And so when you truly feel yourself and see what resonates with you, and embrace it and elevate with it, you're unstoppable.
Wow. So I am divine perfection?
Yes.
Okay.
Or I reflect divine perfection. And the resistance in that is because then there's, you know, of what you will attract in your mind. What your mind's telling you will attract if you start to reflect that, versus what you will truly reflect and attract once you embrace that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderfully. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lauren.
So much love.
And those are beautiful phrases for all of us. My goodness. Thank you, Sophia.
And Lauren, I'm glad you said that, because as we do DQs, it's for everyone. Like, where everyone listening, it resonates with all of us on a level where we're all healing collectively. And so that's why it's so beautiful when one can get vulnerable and open and receive, because we all get to receive that and that frequency and elevate it and vibrate with it. And so this is on so many levels, so great individually and collectively.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, and we can really feel into that too, the belief systems, and we can get programmed so easily, but this is really where we reclaim our power and take that back. Okay, well, we have time for another face reading. We would like a volunteer. Go ahead, please. Let's see. All right, so Stacy, I am going to bring you in. You don't have to share your screen, but we can unmute you.
And while she's bringing in Stacy, Jules, do you want to talk about the master cell? There was a question about what is the master cell and is there more than one?
Oh, thank you for asking that. Okay, so yes, so when I say master cell, depending on what I'm talking about, because there are many different master cells. So in this case, the master cell of what I'm looking for is the master cell that it's a cell that is about to divide. And so I go into the skin, I find the cell that I can automatically hit the frequency of it and know that I'm going to be able to read a belief pattern or an energy pattern that it's holding, but it's in a place where it's about to divide so that I can actually clear it before it divides. So when it actually does divide, it's holding the new intelligence and start to work on a DNA level for all the other cells to do the same. Well, that was a great question.
Yeah, I'm actually like looking at chats. I'm looking at Q&A. So like watching me, if you see me like,
you're so good that you're doing it.
Because I want to make sure, because there are questions that are going to come up, and there are, you know, please feel free if you want to ask a question or have a comment, please, like, we're here for you, and we want to let you connect to this and understand it, you know, as best as we understand it. So please, please, please.
Okay, Charvetta, you have dropped it. You have a call at noon, so we weren't able to get to you before that. So just know that happy birthday, and you can come back to this video stream and watch it and still get that birthday facelift. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm going to go to, I believe it's going to be, wow. Who's a volunteer? Come on, let's see. Any volunteers? Okay. Charlotte, we are bringing you in, and you will be joining our webinar. And you can unmute yourself when you're ready, Charlotte. Welcome. Hi.
Hi, Charlotte.
I'm not Charlotte. I'm Shantae.
Okay.
Shantae.
Shantae. Well, my goodness, that's a beautiful name.
Oh,
Very
thank you.
different than Charlotte. Forgive me.
I was trying to figure out how to get on the call, so I was really happy when you asked because I was right on that raise hand button. So, well, yeah. So ask me a question so I can focus here.
Yeah, Erica, do you want to do this?
Shantae, let's do this. So is there any particular area on your face that you want to work on?
Well, I just have to say just this general thing that when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't see what I see when people take a photograph of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just horrified with my skin sagging. I look old, but I don't see that because I guess I don't have my glasses on when I look in the mirror.
I love you.
A couple of weeks ago, I mean, I just broke down and cried. And I thought, oh, how vain of me to think that at 68 years old, I'm supposed to look like a 40-year-old, you know? So that's the general feeling that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I've always prided myself on thinking I look younger than I do. But now I'm just concerned about it. So, you know, my eyes water.
Mm-hmm.
And my eyes have looked older in the last few years, but I'm sure other people noticed it before I did. And, you know, there's that wrinkle, that old look of the skin sagging. So is that?
This is awesome. This is
okay.
Thank you for being open and you know, sharing. I'd love you to place your hands on your heart. And let's take a deep breath in together. And let's breathe into the heart. Again, let's take a deep breath in. Breathe into the heart. One more time. Breathe in. And as we breathe in the heart, we're going to open to receive. And I want to thank you for allowing me to trace energy for you. And when I go in and trace energy patterns, I actually go in with organs. And the two organs that I'm being drawn to are your kidneys and your liver. And when I go into them, I'm getting like an anxiety, like an anxiousness when I try to go in and explore some of that energy. And the belief systems that are popping up behind it is, and I love this because it's so beautiful. And you said it in a little bit of a way that kind of triggered it inside of me when you were talking about, you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see your youth, you see your brightness. And yet if somebody shows you a picture, you somehow see your age. And almost there's this like betrayal of self. Like, who am I to think that I'm younger than what I truly am? Like, who am I to believe that I'm youthful and glowing? And then I see something and it almost like takes you out of that, takes you out of your.
It's like I'm a fake. Like
yes,
I'm a fake.
yes,
I'm not
right.
really, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Beautiful. You're exactly where I want you to be. This is so awesome, right? It's so awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go into that. Let's explore that. So if it makes you feel like you're a fake, what is triggering that? Like when you go in there, you know, because a lot of this is your self-discovery, your self-journey. It's almost as if like you're knocking yourself off your own pedestal.
Yes.
And so I like to go to the root cause of things, right? And so most times when a belief system's in place, it's between the ages of 0 to 7. For you, I'm getting 4. And the story attached to it is not important. The memory that triggers around that time is not important. But the belief system that was put in place was that if I think I'm awesome, like if I show me and I love me, that's wrong. That's bad.
Yes.
Right? Like you were scolded for thinking you were great. You were scolded for thinking that you were beautiful. Like there was, like you were put in a place, like put in place. And that's okay. You know, beautiful, innocent children don't know that there's an ego. They just are being their true light, their true selves. And sometimes authoritative figures come in and try to put you in a pecking order. And in that diminishes it. So
Yeah.
there's a fear that automatically gets inserted with self-love.
Yeah.
And like when I say that, and what's awesome about this is that, like when I say that, like you went in there, but it's not, it doesn't resonate with you. Like, you know, that that's just something that is being triggered, but I know in your heart and in your system that you don't believe that. You just don't feel that.
Yes.
Which is why you're not seeing it when you look at yourself in the mirror, because you're only seeing your truth.
Yes.
So the fear is like, you've seen it. I'm going to go in and we're just going to quickly just clear it. So if there's for any remnant that's in it, we're just going to let it go, because it's a quickening. Like this is already leaving. It's already pretty much gone, but I just want to go in to clear it. So for those that are listening, just to have that process, I'm going to breathe in. And from the first particle of existence to this time and place called now, I clear, cancel, delete, and remove the fear of self-love. For if I show my true self and show my love for self, I will be in trouble. I will be rejected. And in that, I'm bringing in the rainbow light, the 7 elements, to take it away, to know that I am love and it's okay to be me. I am love and it's okay to see me. I am love and I'm not a fraud. So then going into that, like the thing that comes in is you feeling like you need to, like, not that you're not a fraud, but you're almost questioning, like, why aren't they seeing what I see? Like your reflection, like, why are they not, like, you see you, why is the world not reflecting what you see back?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about that is that I feel in your heart, because you're showing yourself, you see yourself, and you're trying to, it's like almost like you're being misunderstood. Like, why aren't people seeing me? Why can't people see me? And because what you're seeing, you think is is almost like, who am I to think that this is what I see and this is what I feel? But your heart knows that you see you. And so you're feeling really misunderstood, and you're almost blaming yourself.
Yes.
Thinking that, well, maybe I'm not really seeing me. And if you're misunderstood, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I have different feelings about that. Hurt mostly.
Betrayed?
Hurt and rejected. And then I get angry. Yeah.
And there's almost a sense of like, you don't belong.
Well, I don't feel effective. I don't feel that, well, that the healing in the last woman was, I'm not here to heal people. something like that was appropriate for me too. That I reach out, but I don't feel received.
Mm.
And then I feel that that's my fault.
So this is what I love. And are you new to DQA? Like, are you new to us?
Am I new to you?
Yeah, like eternal gold. The only reason why I say this is because this comes up a lot, and it's so resonant with so many people that are in this process. Your frequency resonates so high, and you know that you've been given a gift of healing, right?
Yes.
And so you put out that energy, knowing how powerful you are, and it's not being received.
Yes.
People that you're giving that energy to resonate at a lower frequency.
Right.
And this, like when you were born into such a beautifully high frequency, and the frequency that you came into couldn't match it because it's right. And so right then, from that initial state of birth, you felt like you couldn't be you. You couldn't share all of you without having to drop down.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel with,
right. And
without
then
going through a lot of story about it. Yeah.
Sure, like the story, exactly. It's a memory, it's a trigger, it's a belief system that was brought in. That, the root of that could be rejection, because you're coming in at such a high frequency and nobody can receive it. So you have to lower yourself in order to heal others.
I just drove 1,000 miles to get out of a situation where I wasn't being received.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, I have to get out of here, because I just kept being a servant.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to go somewhere else, and we'll see, what happens. So I drove from Monterey, California to Durango, Colorado last weekend.
So it's so fun because you're honoring you and you're honoring your truth, but you're also mad at you for giving yourself to somebody that couldn't receive.
Yeah. And I didn't realize when I got in the car how I kept, mile after mile, I kept dropping away all of my feelings about that experience. Mm-hmm. Until when I got here, I just felt totally free. And I didn't realize how much of that lower frequency I was carrying, trying to change it, trying to make it different. So anyway.
Let's explore that, because I love that. Like, because you're in a quickening, right? Like, it's not affecting you anymore. You rose a puff. That's what I'm saying. Like, even getting rid of that fear, it was so fast. Like what you need to do. But there's still an element of you, right? That if you're not received, how does that make you feel?
Like a failure.
Okay. And if you're a failure, what does that mean to you?
I didn't do what I came here to do. I wasn't effective. I wasn't effective, and makes me not really depressed, because I don't get depressed, but it just lowers my frequency, so that I don't, it's like, I got to knock myself down, mm-hmm. because of the evidence is that I'm a failure.
So now what if, like we look at that, and what if you, looking to yourself, are not accountable for healing others?
Yes, that's very, very freeing.
Right.
Yeah, like, then what am I accountable for?
Exactly. So if you take out the need to heal others, now what do you feel accountable for?
Myself. All that energy returns to me, mm-hmm. and then I can code it the way that I want to for myself.
Yeah. And so there's that, like, I don't even have, you're so open and you have done so much work. You know this. Like, you know, you're so powerful. And you're like, why won't people just get me? Like, why don't people just receive me? Because you don't have to do anything, just be, right? You just have to be, and everybody around you will be great. Hi. Like, so I think as you continue on, continuing to hold that frequency without your body dropping lower to match them. Right. And I know that you're already to the point where you're like, okay, well, if people don't, resonate with me, then let them be. Like, I'm free. I can resonate with me. So just embrace, like, holding this frequency always. And I feel that, and there's so much love for that. And yet there's a part of feeling of fear that you're going to be alone.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a little bit of sadness, a little bit of grief, and a little bit of fear that if you constantly hold your frequency always and not drop down, that you will be alone.
Right. Yeah, because it feels pretty high. It does. It feels that it actually isn't lonely at all in that frequency. When I reach for it and I own it, it's not lonely at all.
Right. But
it's full.
Limitation of the mind, right? That's getting in that way. Like, it doesn't feel lonely. I think about it, but then I'm alone. And if I'm all alone, I'm by myself. Right.
Yeah.
So I would love to bring in that I am statement of I am not alone. I am home.
I am home.
I am love.
I am loved.
I am high frequency.
I am high frequency.
And I am not alone.
And I am not alone. And the other thing that comes in is I am free.
You were free. Yeah, I was going to say, I get butterflies flying out of your heart. Like, I'm a visual person. So when we do that, like, I just see a bunch of butterflies flying out of your heart.
Yeah. And I claim that freedom for myself.
Mm-hmm. And so anytime you feel like your resonation or your frequency is dropping, that the I am statement that you just created, that's where you need to reconnect to elevate back up.
Okay.
Did once you're there, life is great. Life is euphoric. Life is magical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really open to this creative energy of what's possible when I'm not drawn into other people's lives and their dramas and what they're doing and thinking
right. You're not responsible for them. Like, you're not responsible.
No, but it's hard when you're living with them.
Oh, it's impossible.
No, it's like, so yeah, I was happy to get here, living up on a hill overlooking Durango, and it's quiet and there's just me and my dog. So yeah.
The more you connect to that frequency, the more that when you're surrounded by those you love that may not be resonating at that frequency, you won't drop to meet them. They'll raise up to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do that. Like, you have to let them do it and just hold your frequency.
Right. Yeah.
Gosh, this is so awesome. You feel so like, I want to hug you.
Oh, well, here you go.
Hug.
Going right through the
virtual hug.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And so yours, I did listen to something with Lauren and you before with the skin products. And I listened to your whole story. I remember it was a while ago though. So when you're applying your skin products, you're saying these statements. This is the next connection to your products, right? Am I understanding that right?
Yes. Okay. But when you apply product, your I am statement, you are free. Just look at yourself in the eyes, connect, touch any part of your skin that you feel a photo reflects, and just say that and just give it that life force energy, give it that love, give it that healing. And you will be amazed at how amazing you look at the next photo you see. And I even encourage you to take a photo of yourself. So start with it. Start with the photo that brought you to tears. And as you do that, take a new photo every day, and you will, I swear on my life, you're going to see
Really
major changes. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I know you, I mean, I just, it's in my bones. I know you will see it immediately.
Oh, that's wonderful, because I was just falling into that pattern, like, well, you know, you're pushing 70, so you should look like this, you know, and accepting. And yet when I came across this Zoom call today, I went, oh, that's interesting. That would pop into my email.
There is no such thing as coincidence.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And
so it's like,
can look 40 when you're 70. You can look 20 when you're 50. Happens all the time. So why not let it be you?
Well, you know, it's like applying the medicine to myself first, right? And honoring myself first, and then letting it go from there, rather than to reach out and try to assist someone without really getting myself clear on all those levels that my aura holds, those codes that I've accepted for myself. So yeah, even in the last woman that I was going, oh, I'm going to sit down and write the stuff out that I have. So I'm just thrilled that I just could just punch a button and get this reading. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you so much, Shantae. And we're feeling you, and we're right there with you. And I love those affirmations as well. I am home. I am love. I am high frequency, and I am not alone. Thank you, Shantae.
And I am free.
And
the butterflies,
free.
the butterflies.
Really powerful. Okay. Well, we have time for one more quick face reading. I don't know if anything is so quick because, wow, it goes so deep. Erica, it's really fun to watch you work, and it's very helpful for people. We call these belief systems BS.
I love that.
So thanks for busting some BS with us today. You know, these are the old things that do not support us energetically. And when we can tap in, like you said, and shift it energetically in that way, wow, things do shift. Okay. Well, if you would like to have a face reading, please, we've got a few more minutes. Until then, let's talk about Deku and how people can work. You've got something called level 1. So what is all this about? Is this ways that people can do this on others, or just themselves, or what?
So Deku level 1 is learning to do it on yourself. So it's being able to look in the mirror, pick an area of the face, and it's a step-by-step process of being able to identify your belief system, the emotion, the fear, and the root cause, be able to clear it for yourself. And it's a 4-week class where you'll be able to go in pretty deep to that. We also support the conscious side of it as well. It's an amazing, amazing class. And it really teaches that element of what I see as my reflection is the frequency of what I'm holding. And when we say, how fast will I see results? The answer is as soon as you can hold the frequency of your desired outcome. And so this is teaching how to do these sessions on yourself so that you can start seeing those results really quickly. And it can be as fast as 5 minutes a day, up to, you know, and there's a lot of people that have done the class in the past that really use it to advance not only the way they look, but the way that their spiritual advancement as well, because they really do work hand in hand. Do you have anything to add to that, Erica?
No, you're doing amazing.
Okay, so yeah, so it's a simple class. It's I would say, what do you think it takes? Maybe 2 hours a week. It's an hour-long video. It's some back-end work where you read and have the step-by-step process that you start to practice on. And over a 4-week period, you really start to shift and see those changes in your skin and in your consciousness. And then by the week 4 is when you start to really see that reflection in your reality and being able to pick up on different reflections and shift the cell's consciousness in those levels.
And yeah, and Lauren, you included the link for the attendees. So that's amazing. Thank you for including the link for those that are
Yes.
on this call, because it really is an amazing journey. And it's life-changing, number one, but it's fun. Like, it's fun. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, let's get rid of wrinkles. Let's do this. Like, when you actually get to trace the energy, as you all have probably tuned in on this call, when we were doing these face readings, you can feel it in your body where it's sitting. Like, we all have certain things that, like, a chemical response will be in your body. And you get to do that with you every day during that 4-week course. And it becomes quick. Like, it becomes like, oh, I love this. Okay, done and done and done. And so those triggers and those stories and those memories just fly. They fly out of your system because it doesn't resonate with you anymore. And you get to recognize what resonates and what doesn't. You get to choose what do you believe, what you don't believe. It's a fun process.
You see, that is so powerful and very effective. And, you know, instead of years and years and years in therapy, we've got this system tracing the energy. So when we say go within yourself so deeply to do it, that's exactly what this does. And I love how you said that we can have fun getting rid of wrinkles, Erica. Thank you. Yes, it's fun, isn't it? Okay, I want to bring in Sarita. I'm going to bring Sarita in for a face reading. And this will be our last one, but everyone, you too can tie into the energy here and follow it. So let's see. Sarita, you are welcome to unmute yourself and share your video if you wish.
Oh,
Hello.
hi.
Hi.
Let me try to find a way how to put on my video.
That's okay. You don't need to share your video. Oh,
Okay.
there you are. Hello.
Hi.
I didn't prepare for this, but I'm just like, I'm signed in because I really need to do my facelift because I'm turning 60 years old this month.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What would you like to work on?
I have those like backing around the eyes, and recently I just, got the cataracts that I need to remove.
Okay.
And I kind of feel, I see like 3 eye doctor and I listed to have a surgery. I felt like some emotional, some energy that involved with my eye.
Okay. All right, honey, let's go in and do some work. So let's just connect hearts. All right, so we're just gonna go right into the master cell here. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm able to move past some more surfaced ones, so I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. It's really interesting how almost everybody that's come on the call has a similar frequency pattern. So I'm going to see if I can take this from a different angle because it's very similar to what we've been working on about being seen. And being in trouble, which I think is so interesting. Like if I'm seen, I'm going to be in trouble. Or if for you, it's more if I'm vulnerable. I'm going to be in trouble. Like if I show emotion, I'm going to be in trouble. If I show that I have feelings that are maybe like sadness or something that makes people quote unquote uncomfortable, that I will be in trouble. So I want to trace that just a little bit deeper because I feel like it's so similar to what we've cleared for the call already that I know that there's something underneath it. So just give me 1 second. Okay, and now I'm hitting, it's still on the same frequency string, but it's if I rock the boat, the other people won't be able to handle it. If I show myself, other people will suffer. Other people won't be able to handle it. So I have to stay in my happy, perfect self, or other people won't be able to handle it. And when other people can't handle it, let's go under that. It becomes uncomfortable for me, and then I blame myself for other people's feelings. Okay, so let me just go in just a little bit deeper. So I shut myself down. I don't speak my truth. I don't allow people to see my vulnerability so that I don't have to feel shame. So first thing I want to do is clear the emotion of shame because it's one of the lowest frequencies that we can hold. So we're going to clear, cancel, and delete the emotion and the frequency of shame. So we're bringing in the 7 elements of light right into the cell. And you can just begin to see it spin inside the cell. And as it's spinning in the cell, it's clearing, canceling, and deleting the emotion of shame, the frequency pattern of shame. And I'm feeling that right in between your shoulder blades. It's like almost like this, for lack of a better word, like a stab in the back, is when, because what the energy pattern that's being formed around it is almost like I'll hold myself in this little tiny box so that nobody can see the emotion. But if I lose control and the emotion comes out, then the feeling that comes in is that I'm not loved when I'm vulnerable, and it's that feeling of a stab in the back. So we're going to clear, cancel, and delete that if I'm vulnerable, I am not loved.
I felt a lot on my left side of the scapula.
In the scapula area, is that what you said? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's
behind of my rib cage, in the back of rib cage, my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So like something like poking.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling that for you. I feel that too. So let's just go in and we're going to bring the 7 elements of light, and we're going to clear, cancel, and delete the belief that if I am vulnerable, if I show my emotions, if I lose control, I am not loved. And now I want to clear, cancel, and delete the belief system that I need to be in control. I need to be in control. And this control, this belief system that I need to be in control, is the identity that you show the world. And we're going to clear, cancel, and delete that I need to be in control in order to show myself to the world. So we're witnessing all of these belief systems clearing from the master cell, and we're going right into that area behind the scapula, behind the heart.
Now it's moving down all the way down to my left knee.
Okay, so the next belief system, right? We're just following that pattern that you just identified. So the next belief system we're clearing, canceling, and deleting. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if I step forward, if I create a new identity, hold on one second.
I got tight, really tight in my solar plexus.
Yep. So it's like the pattern that's it's happening is because you've created this little box in this place that you're allowed to exist as. Now that we're creating this pattern where you're breaking out, it's you have to meet you. So it's the third chakra is you loving you. It's trusting in you. Can I trust myself to be vulnerable? Can I trust myself to be who I am? And love myself anyways. And because you don't know what that person looks like, it's like this shutting down. It's like, well, if I can't mirror that person, then do I even exist as anything unless I'm in my little box? So that's what we're doing. We're opening this box and allowing you to meet yourself in love, trust yourself in love. So we're bringing in the belief system of I fully embrace and trust in myself. I fully embrace, love, and trust myself. I trust that I can handle anything, and I reflect that reality into all of my relationships. I trust that I can handle anything. I trust that I can allow myself to be vulnerable and feel safe. I am a beautiful divine light, and I am perfect within every experience. I allow myself to be vulnerable and feel empowered. My vulnerability is my empowerment. Okay, so I'm just going to let this energy pattern fully come in. Tell me how you're feeling, honey.
Moving down to the left kidney.
Okay, so that's the fear pattern. So let's just allow your body to fully accept the frequency of self-love, that I can be vulnerable, I can be imperfect and be loved. I can be vulnerable and be imperfect and have love reflected within me and outside of me. My vulnerability brings me closer to the people around me. My vulnerability meets other people in their vulnerability, and this frequency brings us closer together to where I reflect my brilliance and they reflect that back to me. Okay, beautiful.
Wow.
Tell me how you're feeling now, honey.
I feel the energy just expand from the heart chakra, from the solar plexus, just like vibrate out. And the fear leaving the body down toward my knee, my ankle, my feet down to the earth now.
So the exercise I want you to play with is I want you to see yourself as like this perfect little child. And if you could see, how you would interact with a child, like if they cried or if they were sad or if they got a boo-boo, you wouldn't be mad at them because they were expressing emotion. You would want to pick them up and hold them and love them. And I want you to see that reflection within yourself. And then if the more you can bond with that reflection of yourself and really embrace those vulnerable parts of yourself, the more that vulnerability will meet others from a place of vulnerability. Because really, if you think about it, like when we show up and we're just reflecting our best selves, that person might be reflecting that back to us. But when we're reflecting our vulnerability, we're reflecting our truth. We're reflecting our authentic self. And then we're reflecting our authentic truth. We will begin to reflect that into our reality. And so that's when the real magic starts to happen. And that's what's trying to come in for you right now, honey. And it's so beautiful and it's so powerful. So I offer you to embrace that. And when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, seeing yourself as your authentic self and loving that reflection, and noticing in your body if you have resistance to that, and then bringing more love into that part of the body, because you haven't learned to love yourself when you're in a place of vulnerability. So when you're feeling vulnerable, I want you to say, I am vulnerable and I fully love and embrace this part of me. And then continue that, allow that frequency to come in until you can really feel what that frequency is. And if you need assistance with raising the frequency of that part of the body, you can bring in that rainbow light or divine light, or grace flows through me, grace flows through me, and play with that higher frequency until you can resonate with it. Beautiful work, honey. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful.
No, I feel really light now. I felt my inner child dancing. Yeah.
Really deep work. Thank you, honey.
Thank you. This is really deep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarita. Awesome.
Thank you, Lauren.
Well, this is really cool, Erica and Jules. Thank you so much for uplifting and removing those belief systems. We've learned so much from this. And gosh, the self-love that we're feeling for ourselves is really fresh and key too. So thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. This has been wonderful.
Yes, thank you for hosting this platform. Like, there's so much love and I can feel it so strongly with you and with us, and it's just awesome.
Well, you guys are here. You're going to do this a couple times. So on the page that you're watching, go ahead and fill out the link to get a reminder, and you'll be getting an email reminder then when Erica and Jules do this again, and you can jump on and get some Deku face readings. So if that makes sense to you, that is available. And if you'd like that 4-week course, dive deep into self-love and your eternal beauty. Thank you so much. I just want to give you both a moment to say goodbye to everyone.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. Gosh, I don't want to say goodbye. So we're just gonna hold space for everybody and just extend a big rainbow of light from our hearts to yours as we all continue to choose the higher frequency within ourselves so that we can reflect that and create this new earth reality. Like, this is just the beginning of where we can go with this work. And it's so exciting just to think that we just planted a seed that is going to grow into something that's so beyond the mind that we can't even comprehend it. That's how big it is. So thank you for being here with us. And Erica, I'll let you take over.
Yeah, thank you. With so much love. Thank you everyone for playing. I like to say, like, thank you for playing, because it's just that much fun, and we just get to, everyone's feeling all the loves and all the feels. And so it's so nice to know that we're not alone, and that we all have that love, and that we can, show our frequency, show our light, be our light. And it's amazing. And it's asked of for us, and we're here, and we all embrace each other. So thank you.
Yes, and it's really interesting, this common thread of wanting to be seen or not wanting to be seen. And as we are in a world of max headroom on Zoom, if anyone remembers max headroom, it is a time to step up and be seen. So this was very beneficial in just honoring the people and the love that we are and that beauty that we are, without judging ourselves and forgiving ourselves such great self-love. Thank you both so much, Erica and Jules, for this Mastery Empowerment course. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Bye-bye.